Okay, so I'm back live, and at least I have sound. Now, my sound may be horrifying, so somebody tell me how I sound. Do I just sound like a robot because my laptop is overwhelmed, or do I sound really horrible? Also, where's my chat? When I click on you, you're supposed to come up, chat. Or not. Wait, I see you. Why will you not? My chat is being shy, y'all. I think what this is about is my laptop is overwhelmed. Really overwhelmed? Oh my god. No, please, poor laptop. Just don't. Okay, yay. All right, I sound fine. Awesome. And so we're going to look at the chat in this window and hooray! Hi, everybody. I'm here with audio. I'm streaming from Beading Dreams Remote. In an attempt to give both myself and Heather a little bit more downtime in our lives, I am going to continue my attempt to stream on Fridays from Beading Dreams Remote, which frees Heather up to go home and chill out on Friday nights. So yeah, so welcome to Freeform Friday. 30 minutes later than expected because of random technical difficulties, and yeah, so my laptop apparently is a little overwhelmed by this whole streaming thing, so I may be a little jumpy tonight, but as long as everyone can see me and hear me, that's good. So it's Freeform Friday, which means that I'm going to be doing a rando project, and this project tonight is actually super duper rando because this is a crafty thing that I've been wanting to do for myself. Yes, for my very own self. I've been wanting to do a crafty thing, and so I'm gonna do it tonight. So I have this letter A. It used to be white. The problem is that my walls are also, they're not actually technically white, they're a very light gray, but they're pretty much the same color as this. So I painted the A black, and now what I want to do is I want to embellish it with polymer clay, 3D vines and flowers. So of course I wasn't able to find an inspiration photo that was exactly what I had in my head, because apparently that's not the way the internet works, you know, but something like this, but with more vines, fewer flowers, you know, something like this, but with all of the crap on the A instead of around the A. Found a couple of illustrations as well that kind of, you know, that one there and that one there. So that's kind of my inspiration. So it's been a really long time since I messed around with polymer clay. It's been so long that I have no bloody clue where any of my polymer clay tools are. You know what that means? That means I took a trip to the craft store. Dun dun dun. Yeah. I did manage to get out of there with only what I came there with, or not came there with, came there for. So as far as tools go, all right, things that I had, I've got a Teflon sheet here, which is a little dirty, but I think that'll be okay. I've got a work surface. I've got a coil roller like I use in metal clay, and I've got a craft knife. And then new tools that I bought, and we're going to see if I use these new tools or not. So these are, okay, wait, no, window, you move over there, and, no, let me scroll down. You want to let me scroll down. No, I know you do, computer, come on. Come on, let me do the thing. Or don't let me do the thing, you recalcitrant piece of technology. Okay, well, I'm hoping that my computer will eventually, there we go, yay. All right, so I also got these. These are called, I clicked on the thing. Okay, so these are called, hi, look, it's a computer and a microphone and all of that business. So these are called color shapers, and sorry, I've got the focus set to focus on the surface here, and I had actually made it slightly less desert sunshiny, and then I restarted my computer like 17 times, and obviously it forgot about that. So hold on, let me make it a little bit less. A little bit less desert sunshiny. There, that's a more reasonable level of light, I feel like. So these guys are called color shapers, and they're silicone tips, so they're kind of bendy but still firm. And everyone can take that however they like it. But there's a lot of different shapes of my little color shapers here. I've got these silicone tools, which I didn't realize when I purchased them that they're like floppy. I don't generally like my tools floppy, so we'll see how that goes. And then these are absolutely my favorite tools ever. These are just some ball stylus tools, and I used to have a bunch of these, and damn if I know where I put them, because I have no bloody clue where I put all my ball stylus tools. And then I have this, look at this pretty little roller. It's got like cane in the middle that like you can twist it, and you can amuse yourself for hours if you are me. So yeah, okay, so and then I've got some white polymer clay here. So my idea here, once again, the things that happen in my head, not necessarily having any relation to reality, but my idea here is that I'm going to use the white polymer clay to make all my 3D design elements on my letter A, and then I'm going to bake it, and then you don't have to bite your tongue, Lori. You can say whatever you want. It's a Friday night stream. It's freeform. It's all good. But anyway, so my idea here is that I can do all of these design elements in white polymer clay. Hopefully I can bake this. This is not solid wood, it's composite, but I'm hoping I can bake this at 250 degrees for 15 minutes and not have it burst into flames. You'll get an update on that on Discord. And then I want to go back in and paint all of these design elements. And by I want to go back in and paint these design elements, I mean I'm going to hand this to a friend of mine who's much better at painting and has much more patience than I. And that friend will paint the design elements. So that's the reason that I'm going to be working entirely in white polymer clay tonight. So also, okay, so my coil roller I'm expecting to be a huge part of my project tonight, because I want to have lots of kind of like, I totally just hit my glasses there. I want to have lots of kind of like viney things, and then some flowers and some leaves as well. So let's go ahead and let's start making some vines and see how this goes. All right, so Lori just had a, well, I mean, you know, to be fair, Lori, I did kind of set that one up with the expectation that someone would knock it down. So you would really only be conforming to expectations here. I totally could, Lori. That's a really good thought. It's a little too late for that now, though. I think I'm committed to this path. So everyone just pray that I don't burn my house down. So I'm going to start by making some vines. So I've got my white polymer clay. I'm going to put it down on my work surface, and I'm going to use my coil roller. Okay, this is just basically an acrylic block that I'm going to use to roll my coil. And what the block does is it helps me create a uniform size coil. And if I roll it and I kind of pull the block outwards, I can extend the size of my coil. Now, it bears mentioning that any of the techniques that I'm using tonight you could also use with metal clay. Polymer clay, I will say, as a metal clay artist, polymer clay is so much less stressful than metal clay, because when you're dealing with metal clay, you really have a finite amount of time where the clay is still workable. Polymer clay basically stays workable pretty much indefinitely until you bake it. Again, at which point hopefully you don't burn down your house. But it's just so much more forgiving than metal clay. And so, whenever I'm trying to practice techniques that I could use in metal clay, but also kind of de-stress, polymer is a really great medium for that. Also, it's cheap. I mean, you can get a block of polymer clay at Joann Fabrics for $3.50, even if you don't have a coupon. So it's a much lower stress medium than metal clays, just because there's not as much of a monetary investment, and again, it just stays workable forever and ever and ever, practically. I mean, it's not forever, but sometimes if you're used to metal clay, it feels like it. Okay, so what I have here is I have rolled some coils, and I've got some different thicknesses of coils here, if it will let me show you my hands. Thank you. Okay, so I've got some different thicknesses in coils. I've got some thinner and I've got some thicker. So I'm actually going to grab my craft knife and I'm just going to sort of segregate those out. So I'm going to chop off some of the thicker bits, and I'm going to use this thinner bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to roll the end of the thinner bit to create a nice little end, like so, a nice little pointed end. And that's going to allow me to make a nice sort of little spiral terminus for my vine. Okay, so now I've got my A, and we're just going to start. No idea how this is going to turn out, but we're just going to randomly start here at the bottom of the A. And this is where having some kind of a tool that's not your finger that you can sort of shove the clay with is helpful, because it tends to want to stick to your finger, but these silicone tools don't stick to the clay as much. So that's my start, and I'm just going to sort of continue on with my sort of spiral look, and then I'm going to do some viney nonsense. And then I'm going to end with another little spiral. And so yeah, let me just put out there that I'm really not a great sculptor. Anybody who has watched the past 10 minutes of this broadcast probably has a really good idea that I'm not a good sculptor, but I'm still going to try. I don't like this right here. This is a really harsh curve, so I'm just going to take my tool and I'm going to kind of soften out that curve a bit. And then I need to somehow adhere this clay to this wooden background, which means I need some pressure. So that's where my ball stylus comes in, and I'm just going to give it a couple of strategic sort of, pokes with my ball stylus that are going to help to sort of meld it to my A. Because you gotta press it down. And then the other thing that you can do is actually take your coil roller, which, by the way, this is an acrylic stamping block, is really what it is. That's what it was designed for. But you can actually take your coil roller and press the whole thing down. And what that does is it gives it a slightly flatter profile, but it's going to help sort of, lock it down onto your letter. This spot is ugly. I don't like it. I'm going to put a flower over that. But now I'm going to make some more vines from these two thicker pieces that I chopped off. So I'm going to put them on my work surface. Again, I'm going to take my coil roller and I'm just going to roll. Can everyone see okay? Do I need to like zoom in a little bit more on my work surface? And by everyone, I mean, let's see. Oh, there's 7 of you now. Hi, everybody. Like, I know there's a Lori and an ASO. And I hope Pam came back. But, all right, so now I'm taking my little chopped off bits of polymer and I'm just rolling them out longer. Hi, Megan. To make more little vines. Wait, who dat? Hi, Tallyfet. Hi, Smee. Yay! Super fun people tonight. Alright, so what I'm doing now is I'm making another long skinny place, or not long skinny place, long skinny thing that's going to be a vine. Here's another trick for the... Hey, we have a raid! Hi, Dusty Pink Unicorn raid peoples and things. Yay, it's a... Hi, Corvus! It's a pink unicorn raid! Woohoo! Hi, everybody! How are y'all doing? This is the Beading Dreams Freeform Friday stream. That means I am doing a random project. I'm actually playing with polymer clay on a wooden letter A, because my name is Allison. So, welcome in, Raiders. How are y'all doing this evening? What were you guys doing on your stream? Pink Unicorn. It's all good. Like, raid and run, seriously, Unicorn, like, that's the way I oftentimes do it as well. But hey, Raiders, welcome in. So what was Unicorn doing on their stream tonight? What cool, awesome things have you guys already been crafting this evening? Again, I'm doing some polymer clay embellishments on this wooden letter A. So we're typically a jewelry stream. Beading Dreams, we are actually a brick and mortar bead store in Dallas, Texas, but it's my Freeform Friday stream, which means I get to do whatever the heck I want, and I've been wanting to do this for my dining room for forever. So what I'm doing is I'm working on adding some 3D embellishments and polymer clay onto this wooden letter A, and then I'm going to have a friend who's way more talented than me paint it for me. Ooh, yay, vintage journal with an old map look. That's awesome. Love. Okay, so I have my second coil here, which is going to be, again, so my vision for this is leaves and vines. Now, I'm sort of winging it here, because I wasn't able to find, like, an actual inspiration photo that I was like, yes, that I want to copy 100%. Like, I wasn't able to find it. Most of my inspiration for this one has come from quilling. So, like, I kind of want something like that, but with all of the cool stuff on the A instead of around the A. So again, we're gonna see how this works. Those who have watched my streams before know that there's a really good chance that this could turn out to be an episode of Allison Screws Up on the Internet, which can definitely be amusing for sure. So I'm gonna take my my new vine that I just rolled out, and I'm gonna kind of, you know, position it next to this vine. I've already said this spot is really ugly, this spot right here where my fingernail is, so I'm gonna cover that with a flower when I get to making flowers. I've got new tools. I did, in fact, take a trip to the craft store today, which is, you know, always dangerous, but I don't know where any of my polymer clay tools are, so I had to get something to use for tonight's stream. So I'm going to make this second vine, and I don't know, I just kind of have like visions of these vines kind of curling and twirling around. Okay, so what's making these really awkward, like this one here where I said it was ugly, these really awkward spots are where I accidentally rolled the polymer a little bit thin, so it has a tendency to bend in a sharper fashion than I want. So I was able to fix that one, and I just kind of tapped it with my little color shaper to anchor it down to the A. So this one's gonna curl around like so. Again, I think I'm probably gonna put a flower over this because this is a little awkward looking. I mean, right now this kind of looks like somebody gave a 5-year-old the squeezy frosting to decorate the cake with, but I have high hopes for this. Yeah, I have high hopes for this. We'll see how it goes. This is a project I've been wanting to do for a while. Because when I did my dining room wall grouping, so I'm rolling out another vine at the moment. When I did my dining room wall grouping, I had this wooden letter A that fit perfectly, and it looked great except for the fact that it was basically the same color as my wall. And so I'm like, well, okay, looks good there except for the fact that you can't see it at all. So I've been wanting to do, because I was like, okay, I could just paint it black. But oh no. No, no, no. We extra here on the Beading Dream stream. Like, no, why paint it black when you could embellish it with 3D vines, leaves, and flowers, and then you could have someone else paint it for you in multiple colors, possibly with copious use of metallics, just saying. So, all right, so here's this fun little vine. So all these vines are going to wind up with leaves and flowers. Right? Seriously, Corvus. Just in case anyone, though I don't know, I still think if you ask Ziggy or Mamie who's in charge of the house, they will not say somebody whose name starts with an A. I think if you ask Ziggy, he will say Ziggy is in charge of the house, and I think if you ask Mamie, she will say Mamie is in charge of the house. Yeah, exactly. See, Megan knows what's up. Yep. Then once again, like ask each cat, and I'm sure they will pick themselves as being first in the hierarchy. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and squish down these two that I just put on there. I'm going to use my coil roller. I'm just going to gently sort of press and rock. No, 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 don't stick to that. Stick to the other thing. Crap! Ah! Well, that didn't go well. What happened is it stuck to my coil roller, and now what I have is some serious weirdness going on. So, again, bad choice. There you go. A to Z. Then everyone is in charge. All right, so how do I fix this, like, horrifying thing that I just did? I think we're going to go with that. And again, I'll try and hide some of these uglinesses with flowers and sort of tap everything down, because I do want to make sure that it's, you know, kind of stuck to the wood. All right, so there's my random vines. Okay, so I'm probably not going to get this done on stream, so I think I'm going to make one more vine to go up here, and then I'm going to start making leaves and flowers. So, take my polymer, I just rolled it into sort of a little cigar shape, and I'm going to put it down on my work surface, and I'm just going to roll a vine. Okay, really? Stop misbehaving on stream, polymer clay. Like, I am the boss of you. apparently the polymer clay is about as willing to be bossed by me as Ziggy is. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to take this one last vine and I'm just going to kind of coil it in at the top here. Nope, I said stick down, please. Thank you. Ta-da, ta-da. Okay, so I realize these vines look pretty dorky now. Not guaranteeing that they're going to get less dorky, but they're going to get embellished, which is, you know, if you've done something and you're like, I think this looks like hammered shit, embellish, distract from the part that looks like hammered shit, and things usually get better. Okay, so now it's time to make some flowers. So I'm going to take some of my white polymer and I'm going to roll it out flat. I'm going to use my cute little new roller to do that. I'm just going to roll it out flat. Doesn't need to be too thick. Oh, also I'm going to roll it out on my Teflon because I don't want it to stick. See, shine's always good. Okay, so now if I had a cutter, that would be awesome, but I don't, so I'm just going to start cutting out some sort of random petal shapes. And if you're me, a leaf shape and a petal shape is basically the same. Again, not being a sculptor. So there you go. So there are my kind of leaf shapes or petal shapes that I'm cutting out. And I'm just going to cut out as many as I can get comfortably from this piece of clay. And then I'm going to lift up this piece of clay and I'm hoping that all of those will stay. Okay, and that's when this fun little dude comes in handy. This is called a tissue blade. These are sharp AF, so be careful with them. I'm not in the medical profession, but I've been told that these actually are used for taking tissue samples, which means that they will slicey slice and dicey dice you if you are not careful with them. Yes. This polymer is very gooey. You know, it's interesting your polymer clay is, it's like, this one, what am I using? I think I'm using Sculpey, and it's nice and soft, so it doesn't require a lot of conditioning, but it also, like, it's a little goopy. Like, I kind of want it to be a little more firm. I know, that's what she said, right? So once I finish extricating all of these petals from the larger polymer sheet, and now they look absolutely wonky, but that's okay because you know what? Mama Nature is wonky. So, alright, so I can pick up a petal, and then this is where, again, kind of my ball stylus is going to come in handy because I can sort of push and shape that petal a little bit so that it's got a little bit of a curve to it, like so. And then I can go ahead and do that for the rest of my petals. All kinds of sound, right? All kinds of sound bites from tonight. I feel like slicey slice and dicey dice also needs to be a thing. Wait, there's a Mandy. Where's the Mandy? Hi, Mandy. How's everything? I am attempting to sculpt. You know me, so you know this is a very fraught attempt, since Mandy knows I can't sculpt my way out of a paper sack. But I'm just taking these little petals that I made and I'm kind of trying to give them a little bit of texture and more sort of organic feel. And then I'm just pinching the bottoms of them, and then I'm going to put these together to make a flower. Mostly well. That sounds like a person who's vomited at least once today. Just saying. Do, do, do. I mean, we can all swear on the Friday night stream. There's nothing wrong with that. I know, sculpting is relaxing. We'll just sculpt polymer clay, Corvus. You don't need a kiln then. You can just bake it in an oven. Oh, she did not, Mandy. Oh. Ah, that's a thing. But, I mean, seriously, who eats cake out from under a pregnant lady? Like, people who want to die, I think, is the answer to that. I mean, and I know you could totally take your mother. She's not that big. Okay, well, so you had a net positive as far as cake goes, but still, like, I still don't know who eats cake out from under a pregnant woman. Like, again, people who have a death wish. Alright, so I've got one more little petal, and then I'm going to try and turn all of these really wonky looking petals that I've made into a flower. Okay, so now I'm going to take all of these little petals and I'm going to put them on my Teflon. So the cool thing about the Teflon sheet is that in theory, yes, I said in theory, all the things that I put on here will lift off pretty easily. So I'm going to grab tweezers and I'm going to take these and I'm going to kind of join them all together in the middle, like so. And Megan's right, flowers are not perfect. Just look in my garden. All of my tulips are extremely wonky this year. I blame the weather, but still. But no, I am totally down with organic looking flowers. I have no problem with this. I do need to be a little more careful with my tweezers though, because I keep like poking through my polymer, which is definitely not the goal. Yeah, no judgment, says the woman who hand sculpted hibiscus flowers from sugar for her own wedding cake. Like, she's real kind in saying no judgments because she is definitely a badass. Okay, so I have this little like wonky looking gardenia flower thing. I'm still happy with it. So now we're gonna just pop that whole thing off of my Teflon, and we're gonna plop it over someplace where I think things look ugly, which is right here. Alright, so now look, I've got a flower there, and I'm super happy with the way that looks. Like, yes, it's wonky, but, you know, again, when you plop it on the thing, wow. Oh, I love my best friend. She's amazing. Judgy bitch. Okay, I think we need some leaves. All right, it's 7:05. I know we started late because of technical difficulties, so I'm not gonna like force us to go on forever and ever, but I'm gonna go for about 15-20 more minutes, if that's cool with everybody. So now I'm gonna make a leaf. So I'm gonna make a leaf by taking a little sort of pill-shaped piece of polymer clay, and I rolled it into kind of an oval, and then I'm just pinching the end of it. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plop it down onto my surface here, and then I'm going to use, once again, my ball stylus tool, which is my favoriteest tool ever. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little vein down the middle of it. This is going to serve the dual purpose of making it look like a leaf, and also sticking it down to the thingy, this. So I'm gonna go ahead and then just take my ball stylus and make some little depressions that are gonna be the sideways veins of the leaf. And I want my leaf to be a little pointier, so I'm just gonna kind of sculpt my end into a little bit of a pointier shape. Okay, so there we go. So there's a leaf. So once again, I'm doing this all in polymer clay in white because the idea is that I'm going to go back, and by me, I mean somebody who's not me, who's way more talented at painting than I am. So after I bake this, I'm going to hand it off to someone else who's going to paint it for me, and make it look really pretty with different colors and things. So this is another leaf. So I've got that kind of, you know, just vague, and by vague I mean really vague. Like, you know, this is a leaf that dreams of being a leaf, but right now it's really just a blob. And again, I just put a little seam down the middle with my stylus, and then I'm just gonna put my diagonal veins. I love ball styluses. What's the plural of stylus? Mandy, Heather, help me out here. And once again, I want that to be a little pointier, so I'm just gonna sort of corral it into a pointier bit. Okay, so this is definitely actually kind of shaping up the way that I wanted it to be. I need a couple more flowers. So let's make some more flowers. Which means I get to use my cool, oh, go Corvus. Go Corvus, it's your birthday. Yes, hooray for eating chocolate. Styli? Okay. Styli is the plural of stylus, okay. Well, ball styli are the bestest sculpting tools, in my opinion. I am not a ceramicist. Obviously, I'm not a really good sculptor, but I adore ball styli. They're definitely, absolutely, unequivocally, 100% my favorite sculpting tools. Like, I mean, obviously you need knives and things, but like as far as like if I could just, you know, if I only got to pick one sculpting tool, it would definitely be a ball stylus. For polymer clay and for metal clay, honestly. And I used to have a bunch of them, and I put them somewhere smart, and I have no bloody clue where that is. Okay, I think I want a bigger flower, which means I'm going to make bigger petals. Yes. Go big or go home. I know Mandy is tending to her crying child, which is only appropriate, but one of my favorite things that Mandy told me from art school that she learned was if you can't do it well, make it big. If you can't make it big, paint it red. Like, I love that. I absolutely love it. It's like, you know, go big or go home. Like, if you can't do quality, deliver quantity. If you can't deliver quantity, then deliver excess. I don't know why I find that so amusing, but I do. I always have for like the past 15 years. So I'm making big petals, okay? So I can't do it well, so I'm making it big. It's probably not going to get painted red though. All right, so now I have large petals. So I made some big old petals. And so again, this is the cool thing about polymer is like I can, oh, but that's, I may have just mixed accidentally some hot glue residue into my polymer clay. We're going to pretend that didn't happen. So yeah, so I can recycle all of my leftover polymer, and even though my surface is a little bit dirty, since this is all going to get theoretically painted, doesn't so much matter that it's not pristine white. Okay, so now I'm going to take my not so little petals. I click the thing, move the thing. Thank you, Corvus. There we go. Okay, so again, I'm going to take my... Bah! Another raid! Hi, Positively Crafty Raiders! Oh my god! It's like a raid-o-rama tonight on the Beading Dream stream. Welcome in. We're a little overwhelmed tonight, so it may be a bit of a jumpy stream. Also, my computer doesn't seem to want to show you my face. There we go. Yay! So, welcome in, Positively Crafty Raiders. We are so happy to have you here on the Beading Dream stream. Crafty, what were you doing on your stream tonight? I am attempting a sculptural project, which is interesting because I'm a crap sculptor. But so I have this letter A, and so I'm trying to embellish it with 3D flowers, leaves, and vines. I'm doing that in white polymer clay with then the idea that all of those bits after I bake them are going to get painted in fun, pretty colors. So I'm in the process of making a second flower. So that's where I am tonight. And we're going to be going for probably about another 15-20 minutes, and then I'm going to let everybody get back to whatever they have going on their Friday night. But so I'm preparing to make a larger flower. So I've cut some vaguely petal-shaped pieces of polymer clay, and then I'm going to take, as I just was waxing rhapsodic about ball styli and the fact that they're my favorite tools. So I'm just going to use my ball stylus to put a little bit of sort of natural texture onto this petal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble all of these petals on my Teflon sheet into a flower shape. So I'm going to try and take this, you know, very obviously sort of cut from the polymer piece and just sort of moosh it to give it a little bit more of an organic look. And then I'm going to drop that onto my flower in progress. I've already accepted the fact that these flowers are going to be very organic looking because, as previously stated, I really can't sculpt my way out of a paper sack. So why I decided to do a sculpting project on stream is one of those dubious life choices. But, you know, here we are. And we're just going to see this through to the end, whether it's good or bad. I think my main concern with the petals is that they don't look like they've been cut with a cookie cutter, and also I don't want them to look like leaves. I'm actually pretty happy with that one. The texture on that one is really pretty. Kind of looks like a poinsettia. So I'm just taking my, so I think what's working well for me is just kind of rolling up the middle with the stylus and then kind of rolling, sort of like I did with the leaves, but a little bit more organically, of kind of, you know, going out from that, what would be that kind of center vein. And the main thing I'm working on is sort of, oh, there's a word in my head that's not coming out, but like sort of smoothing down the edges so that they don't look like they've been cut. Well, Corvus, having enjoyed your struggles online, I can sympathize with that. Oh, Lord. But you, woman, tend to overcome all of your struggles because of sheer cussedness, as Heather would say. All right, so I've got 2 more petals cut. I might need another one. I might need to do a 3rd additional petal on this. We shall see how this goes. Sheer cussedness. I mean, seriously, whenever the Hale Mandy gets back on the stream, like she will agree that, you know, sheer cussedness is definitely an important trait for the professional artist. Yep. Cuss your way through life. Corvus said it. Okay, again, can everyone see what I'm doing okay? Because I can zoom in more if y'all need me to zoom in more. Okay, so I've got another little sort of flowery thing. Well, not little, this one's much bigger. So I've got a bigger flowery thing. I think I want sort of a fun center to this flower. So I'm just gonna make a ball, and by a ball I mean I'm gonna make a slug. No, I'm gonna make a ball. Like so. And then it's going to stick to my finger. So where am I going to put this giant flower? I think I want it kind of down here. I don't want to hide my leaves, but I really want, like, I want to be able to see everything, but I really want it to be dense. Like, I mean, if I'm going to be completely honest, like, my inspiration for this is really, like, my phone case. Just, like, this sort of tapestry sort of idea where everything is really closely packed, and you know, you can see all the elements, but they create a really great textural thing. So now I'm going to take my center that I just made, which was my little round bit, and I'm going to grab a stylus, grab a smaller stylus, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stab it. I'm going to poke it. Yes. I'm just going to poke it down. So that makes the center for the flower. And there we go. Okay, so there's another, thanks Corvus. There's another flower. Okay, so it is 7:20. So I'm going to do a couple more leaves, a couple more leaves and probably one more flower, and then I will let you all get back to your Friday night. But so, all right, so I'm going to work on, so this obviously, wait, what did I miss? I missed something that Lee said. Well, anyway, hi Lee. So okay, so I feel like this space down here is very boring and empty. So I'm gonna do a couple more leaves and maybe a flower down here. Corvus. Okay, well, I mean, Corvus, how many hours do you want to be entertained for? Just curious. Okay, so I'm doing another leaf. So I've got my little sort of pellet of polymer here, and I've made a pointy end. And then again, I'm gonna pop that. So I kind of want these two leaves to look like they're sort of sprouting from the same place. So I've sort of popped that on my little A, and then I'm gonna grab many. And I'm gonna grab my stylus, again, favoriteest tool, and I'm gonna make my center vein of my leaf, and then I'm just going to make my diagonal veins. And so what that's going to do when I make my diagonal veins is it's going to do two things. First of all, it's going to give my leaf that texture, and second of all, it's going to help squish my polymer down to my wooden piece, so that once again, when I bake it, ideally, it's going to like stick to the piece instead of, you know, just falling off. And once again, we are still hoping that I can bake this in the oven without setting my house on fire. Okay, so there's another leaf, and so I'm totally feeling another flower down here. Corvus says 1 more hour. Y'all are hilarious. Okay, well, hi all 13 people. Everyone who came in from the raids, everyone who stayed from the raids, thank you so much. All right, I'll keep going for a little while longer, Corvus. I can't promise you another hour, but I will go for a little while. Okay, so now I'm going to make another flower. So I've got little flower, big flower, so I'm thinking kind of medium flower. So your polymer clay typically will bake at 275 degrees, and it'll bake for 15 minutes per 1/4 inch of thickness. So since none of this is particularly thick, I'm thinking that I'm gonna try baking it for 15 minutes at 275, and we're gonna see. Wow, this Teflon is not very Teflon-y. It's holding onto my clay way more than I want to. Corvus grumpily accepts that I will continue for a while longer, but I cannot promise another hour. Thank you, Corvus, for your gracious, grumpy acceptance of, you know, the limitations I have as a human being. Okay, so I'm trying to surmount this problem of the fact that my stupid polymer keeps sticking to my Teflon, which that's not the way it's supposed to work, because Teflon is supposed to be non-stick. So I rolled it out, and then I'm gonna peel it up, and then I'm gonna like kind of gently set it back down and try and cut up my petals. So again, I'm trying to make another flower here. And I want a not quite so big flower. So I'm gonna cut, I think, petals bigger than this one, but smaller than this one. So we'll see if my brain, and I think I'm gonna have to do 2 rollouts because I don't think I've got enough rolled out here to do that. But okay, so there goes Corvus with the caw-caw. I mean, would we expect anything less, really? I wouldn't. I absolutely wouldn't. Alright, so I'm just cutting petals. Okay, and so once again, I can't really sculpt my way out of a paper stack, so I let this be a lesson to all of you that you can actually have mediocre sculpting skills and still create something that looks pretty cool. Because I'm actually, like, you know, from here down, I'm actually pretty happy with this, and no one's ever gonna mistake me for a professional sculptor. Trust me. You know, again, whenever my art friend gets back from calming her baby, she will jump right on the bandwagon of Allison is not a sculptor. But the cool thing about this is that you don't really have to be. Like, you're dealing with organic things, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And then once your artistically inclined painter friend applies shadows and such, with paint, it's all gonna look awesome. Just saying. All right, so I rolled out more polymer. I'm gonna go ahead and use my tissue blade to lift that up off my Teflon and then set it back down. What the what? Okay, I'm very disappointed in this Teflon. Just saying. Like, it could be more non-stick. Let's see if this work surface is any better with the non-stickiness. All right, I just need a few. Yes, totally. My artist friend is going to paint this because, well, okay, hold on. I have several artist friends. I have the artist friend who is going to paint this for me, and then I have the artist friend who is going to come back on stream and criticize me because I can't sculpt for shit. And I love both of them equally. Okay, so I'm back to... Okay, so now I'm trying my clay work surface instead of my Teflon. It's like, once again, so when you're dealing with polymer clay, there's various different levels of squishiness, if that's a thing. Like, so there's polymer clay that starts out really, really stiff. And you've got to squish it a lot. You got to condition it a lot in order to make it workable. Most real polymer clay artists do that with a pasta machine. I don't have a pasta machine because I'm not a real polymer clay artist. So I'll do it with my hands, or I'll do it with a roller or whatnot. It's a lot of work. But I will say the benefit to that is you don't have this like sticky stuff that I'm dealing with right now. So this is one of the Sculpies that's designed to be more workable just straight out of the package, but it's sticking to every fucking thing. So it's like, are you front loading the effort, or are you just dealing with sticky white shit all over yourself? And again, Lori, you can just go to town with that. So I'm going to continue to cut some more petals. Again, I'm trying to make a medium-sized flower to go in this this blank corner right here. So I'm going to continue to try and cut some petals. Again, since this is going to be painted, the fact that my white polymer clay is full of kind of dirt from my hands and dirt from my work surface isn't going to be, I hope, such a big deal. So, all right. So at least I've managed to finally cut some petals without them sticking to every goddamn thing. By the way, the rules about cursing before 9 do not only apply to sales. So you can drink or not drink. It's up to you. All right, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So when you're doing flowers, I find that odd numbers are usually better. So now we're gonna do the same thing that I did before. I'm gonna grab my ball stylus and I'm just gonna take my petals and I'm gonna kind of, moosh them out so that they look a little bit more organic. So it looks more like something that Mama Nature might have grown. And also apparently I'm gonna rip some of that off. That was not the goal. And we're gonna start. Wow, we're not gonna talk about that petal because sorry, we don't talk about Bruno. So again, all right, here we go. So I'm just gonna try and make this petal a little bit more organic, this time without permanently welding it to my hand. We shall see if that works. When you're using your tissue blade on your hand, make sure not to actually remove tissue with it because that's less pleasant. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to start a little flower here on my Teflon with my petals. Maybe if I do it on my fingertip, it'll work better. And again, once again, I can't sculpt for crap. So all I'm doing here is I'm trying to sort of, you know, soften the harsh lines of my cuts and make this look more organic. Well, that's fair, Corvus, but actually I don't. I want leaves on my project, not my hands. My hands are just where they, you know, were staying. But my fingertip, I know, right? Thank you, Lori. I'm not supposed to be making pink flowers. No, but look, my nasty finger cut is almost healed. Like you can barely even see it anymore. So yay for that. Also, shout out to my friend Maggie, the medical professional who derma bonded it for me. Dermabond, I talked about this on stream the other night, is a really awesome product that I now own. That's basically like super viscous super glue that will bind your flesh together when you have cut yourself. Super useful product for me to have in my house. Well, you know, stain hands. I mean, I just finally got rid of all of the adhesive from my eyelash extensions, and now I'm getting polymer clay all over my hand. Thank you. Thankfully, polymer clay is easier to get off your hands than eyelash adhesive. And yes, thank you, Ace. My eyelashes are still on. Alright, it's 7:30. I think I'm going to finish this flower, which does need one more petal because of the petal that I completely destructified. Well, actually, it's okay. Alright, so that's my flower. Again. I don't know what you're talking about, Corvus. Okay, so I'm gonna make a center again for this, and so this one's gonna go down here. I'm gonna grab my tissue blade and attempt to get that up off my Teflon. That was exactly what I did not want to have happen, so I just flopped it over on itself. But again, this is the other cool thing about polymer clay. Okay, so this little grippy thing, you know, Sculpey put that on there to try and, you know, be helpful and also be able to charge more for a tissue blade, but it's a real pain in the ass. So that's officially going bye-bye into the trash can on the other side of the room. And so now I have my flower. I'm going to apply that down here. I want to make it a little bit dimensional, so I'm going to grab my ball stylus and I want to kind of push it down so that its center, stop sticking to the stylus, so that its center is anchored down to my A, and the petals are actually kind of sort of three-dimensional and curling up a bit like so. And then I made a center. I don't know what the heck I did with it, but so I'm going to take a round piece of clay again and just drop it in the center of that flower like so, and I'm going to take my ball stylus and just kind of smash it down and put one little loop in the center. Okay, so there we go. So that peoples is, I'm going to call our Freeform Friday. I'm sorry, Corvus, I know that you were looking for more hours of entertainment. I promise I shall continue working on this, and I will post a photo on Discord when I am ready for baking. I will also turn off all of my lights apparently with my foot accidentally. But yeah, so thank you all so much for hanging out with our Freeform Friday stream. Oh my God, really? At least my laptop has a battery and is not turning off. So also just talking about the Beading Dreams stream. So hopefully we have surmounted our technical difficulties. I did uninstall and reinstall XSplit, and we did successfully stream for about an hour and a half today, just to restream. So hopefully we won't have any technical difficulties tomorrow night. I'm going to bring my laptop to work, so if we do have technical difficulties tomorrow night, I will go ahead and just stream off of the laptop, and we will figure everything out. And of course, if you're new to the stream, all of my raiders, thank you so much for hanging out with us. You can join our Discord. Heather did just put that up in the chat. There's lots of fun that goes on there. We have recipe stream, we have pet photos stream, and we're just a bunch of random kooky people. So thank you all so much for hanging out on the Beading Dreams stream this Freeform Friday with the streaming for Beading Dreams Remote. Thank you for the patience with the technical difficulties, and I will see you all back on this channel, twitch.tv/Beading Dream tomorrow, Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time. We will be doing a class of some sort. I don't remember what it is, but we're going to be doing an awesome tutorial tomorrow night at 6 p.m. You should tune in, followed by a live merchandise sale featuring 8-inch gemstone strands. So everyone have a great night, and we'll see y'all back on this channel, twitch.tv/Beading Dream tomorrow at 6. Yay!